Today let's talk about impulses, about what they are, how they are connected to your intuition, and how following both our impulses and our intuition can lead us to live our life from the heart. Hi there, I'm Anne-Katrin and I am occasionally awake. I'm here to help you experience your own occasional awakenings and learn to embrace the time in between. Welcome to my channel. You know, many people like to say that our lives are a product of our decisions. But there's actually another component missing, maybe even the most crucial one, and that is impulse. Honestly, I'm so happy you're here right now, so please enjoy this video and make sure to like and subscribe to become occasionally awake with me. So let's start at the very beginning with a basic question of, what is an impulse? An impulse is the smallest unit of motion. In simple terms, we could say that the feeling of a creative impulse is feeling drawn into a certain direction, drawn to an idea of something, feeling drawn to something we see, we feel, we touch, we smell, we taste. An impulse can take the form of a thought coming up in our head from nowhere. With a creative impulse, we usually wonder, wait, where's this coming from? This doesn't make any sense. This is not part of my usual repertoire of thoughts. You know, a majority of the thoughts we think today is actually a repetition of the thoughts we thought yesterday, last week, last month, and so on. Those are thoughts with a lot of momentum. But every now and then there comes an impulse in the form of a thought which gives us a very unexpected idea. And this impulse opens up new creative potential for motion and action. For growth, essentially, and for creativity, and gives us the idea of follow this, do it just for the fun, do it just because it feels good, do it right now. If you want it right now, follow it right now. Just see where it takes you. See, the voice of our heart, the voice of our intuition is childlike and playful and easygoing and simple-hearted, and it is certain and secure and safe. Our intuition is rooted in the security, the safety, the certainty, the love of the universe. It's the part of us that can follow a new direction or validate the direction we're already taking and know this is just the right thing for me to do, to be, to say, to think, to feel right now. It is the deep feeling of knowing this is right. An impulse that comes in the form of a thought can sound something like this. Rest and relax. Get creative. I'd really like to draw a picture right now. Move your body. I'd really like to go out to take a walk right now. A creative impulse holds the potential for spiritual growth, which then serves as a new seed planted, potentially, to take us into a new direction, to take us to a whole new level that then manifests into the physical. So the initial action, the initial impulse, usually is a very tiny thing, which makes it so easy to ignore it. One of the problems with impulses is we can't choose when they come up, how they come up. We can't choose what the impulse is. So most of the time, especially if we are already quite out of alignment with our lives, we are going to experience impulses as mere irritations that we just shrug off, that we ignore, that we choose to not act on. When we are already out of alignment with the flow of life, an impulse may startle us as particularly weird, not fitting into our current reality, not making sense. It's most likely to appear illogical. In other words, the more out of alignment we already feel, the more out of this world an impulse can feel. The more out of tune we currently live our lives, the more dissonance a different tune can initially cause. From a place of poor alignment, an impulse can stop us in our tracks. Here are some of the common objections that we might come up with when we are in poor alignment and receive a creative impulse. What did I just think? So part of me is really want to do that right now. No way, of course not. That's silly, it's stupid, so not me. It's quirky, it's weird. It doesn't fit into my self-concept. That could potentially threaten my identity, so I'm definitely not going to do that right now. How silly. Impossible. BS. Inconvenient. Oh, that's embarrassing. What will people think of me? I don't think my parents would approve of that. Right, whatever. I'm going to do that next year. I'm going to do that once things got better. Later. When I have more time. In another lifetime. Certainly not today. Certainly not right now. We just brush it off. So these are just a few of the common objections that we usually come up with, or that our ego, our mind, comes up with once we experience a creative impulse in a state of low frequency or low vibration. Usually a thought is going to follow that feeling. So I like to think of creative impulses a lot in thought form, but the initial part of it, and sometimes the only part of it, is a feeling emerging within. So, for example, this could mean that you scroll through Instagram and you haven't worked out for a while, and then you see a beautiful picture of someone practicing yoga and you feel drawn to that picture, the feeling conveyed by the picture, and then a thought attaches to this feeling inside of you, and you think, oh, I guess I'd like to practice some yoga right now. And then the quality of your intuition, how much in tune you are with yourself, how high your frequency, your vibration is going to determine if you notice this creative impulse in the first place, if you then take the action to get up from the couch and practice some yoga. That's just a very random and tiny example, but I hope you get the idea of how a creative impulse is translated into our perception through thought and feeling. If you are rather out of tune, if you are in a low frequency, your reaction to noticing this specific creative impulse might look like this. I feel so comfortable right now on the couch though. I'm not wearing the right clothes right now to do yoga, so I might as well not do it. I mean, half an hour of yoga is not going to change my body or my health anyway, so why would I do that now? That's silly. And what happened right now in this example is that your ego kicks in to evaluate the creative impulse before your intuition can, because you're in a state where your ego is louder than your intuition and the voice of your heart. And your ego is going to evaluate the creative impulse on the basis of its current narrative of your self-concept, your identity, your life story. And the ego is going to try to fit the creative impulse into the puzzle of who you currently identify as. And if you identify as the person sitting on the couch more than you identify with the person practicing yoga, then it is quite likely, if you are in a low frequency, if you are out of tune, if you are not in alignment with your inner self, that you are going to brush off the creative impulse, ignore the creative impulse, because it simply doesn't fit in the logic of who you currently are. Whereas our essence, our intuition, our heart, which are all driven by the idea of growth and transformation and evolution and curiosity and trying new things and experiencing new things and creating new experiences. If that part of us is active, if we are in such a high frequency that we are very well connected to that part in us, that part is going to validate the curiosity of that unusual impulse, of that extraordinary impulse. The quality of our intuition decides how many creative impulses we listen to, we hear, we validate, we follow. See, creative impulses, they are like little candles lighting our way to inner peace, happiness, and integrity. So this was the first part of how to listen to your creative impulses and follow your intuition. Make sure to check out the second part of this video coming up. Got any occasional awakenings yet? Because now I'd like to hear about your experience. So please let me know, how in tune are you with your own impulses? If you resonated with this, please like and subscribe. And if you want more insights on duality, non-duality, and the concepts in between, please visit me on occasionallyawake.com to enhance your own awakenings. Bye.